everyone. Welcome to Facebook's Technology Tasting event. We had a really exciting morning this morning when we launched the Streams API. And to kick off tonight's event, we have Mark Zuckerberg.
Hey, thanks everyone here for coming. We have a few things today that we're really excited to talk about, so it's really meaningful to have you guys all here with us. So I just want to give a really brief intro, and then I'll hand it off to Dave Morin, who's going to talk about most of the stuff that we're doing here today. So Facebook started about 5 years ago, and the purpose of the company is to give people a way to share information in order to make it so that there's more information out there so that people can have a better understanding about what's going on in the world, right? So there are a number of different companies that have an approach towards doing this. There are companies like search engines that go out and index the web and try to pull information in and organize things in that kind of a top-down way. And then there's the decentralized, more democratic way of doing things where people share the information that they want themselves, put it into these systems, and have control over who they share it with. And that's kind of what we've been working on at Facebook. So we started off as just this very little college site, then spread it to a site that a lot of young folks were using, then spread it so that it was a site that people were using all over the world. And now there are more than 200 million people in all these different demographics using it in just a lot of different countries all over the world and growing very quickly. Now, one of the things that has become really important and really obvious as we reach this scale is what we care about is making it so the world is more open and transparent, and that's happening through people sharing information. But as time goes on, it's really important that no one company can do that by themselves, right? No single company can have a website that people are sharing information into and have that be an open system. So one of the things that's been really important for us this year and going forward is really moving in this direction of true open standards and interoperability. And for a couple of years, we've already been working on platforms, right? So we have a platform, and there are more than 500,000 developers building on this all across the world. So we've made pretty good steps in that direction, but we want to go even further in terms of having a system that, on the one hand, there are things like the user governance things that we started working on. Today, we're going to focus more on steps to use more open standards and make systems more interoperable. So that's one theme that we're going to talk about a lot today. Another thing is just, as time has gone on, people have been able to share information with in a lot more different ways. So if you remember when Facebook first got started, people just put a little bit of information out. They put a profile picture, a few interests, and as time has gone on, people have started sharing so much more information through different applications, whether it's stuff like the photos or events applications on Facebook, or just one of thousands of applications on top of Facebook platform. People are sharing more and more information. And what's happened is, it's gotten to this point where now you don't just expect that you can go to someone's profile and get a brief overview of what's going on in their life. You expect to be able to see what's going on with them right now, today, in the last few hours, things like status updates, wall posts, photos they've just posted, music they're listening to now, all these different things. And as that has happened, and we've moved in this direction, we talk a lot about this graph structure at Facebook, organizing things through the social graph, the friends that people have, the different connections they have to things. And that's been a really important abstraction for us in terms of how we organize the site. But an increasingly important one is what we call the stream, right? Which is basically a view of the graph, of basically the same type of stuff, but sorted by default chronologically, so you can get a sense of what's going on recently or within a given time period and be able to filter things like that. So today, that's a lot of what we're going to talk about is openness and how we're moving in that direction, and how we're moving in that direction specifically with streams. And the last thing that I just want to say before handing it over to Dave Morin is, it's really exciting for us just to have all you guys here today. We believe that the majority of the sharing that's going to happen in the world isn't going to be with any one site. So we kind of got that started with Facebook, but we really believe that over time, the value is going to be distributed out so that there are going to be a lot of different applications that people are using to share information. And that's why building a platform and having it be open and really interoperable is both important for how the web develops and for us strategically. So thank you guys all for coming. We're really excited about the innovation and the things that are going to be able to be built on top of what we built today, and also how this will continue to going forward. So thank you guys all for coming. Dave Morin is now going to talk about all the fun stuff. Thanks, Mike. All right. Can you guys hear me? Awesome. So thanks everybody for coming today. We're really excited to be bringing back the technology tasting event. This is a big move for us today, and so we thought we would bring back the original event that we kicked off Platform with. The first event that we ever did was called the Technology Tasting, so we thought we'd bring the event back and get some wine and bring you guys here to Facebook headquarters to talk about this new thing that we've got. So as Mark mentioned, today we're going to talk all about the stream. And to talk a little bit about how we've gotten to the stream, we've spent the last 5 years building Facebook to reach over 200 million people in the world. And we've done that by mapping out all of the connections between all of us and all of the other people that are part of the Facebook network. And we call this a social graph. Over time, the graph has gotten more complete. We've added not the ability just to connect to your friends, but your family, your coworkers, and most recently we've actually enabled you to connect to all of the public figures and brands that you care about in the world, such as CNN or Anderson Cooper or your favorite celebrities. We want you to be able to connect to everyone on Facebook, not just your friends, family, and coworkers. And the stream is one of the most interesting views and abstractions that we've created for the graph thus far, basically enabling you to understand what's going on around you in real time. And this abstraction has been incredibly successful for us, and you're used to accessing this on the home page. You can see what your friends are doing, you can comment on things, you can like things, give your friends feedback on all the different content that they're sharing on a daily basis. Now, as we've built out Facebook platform over the last several years, openness has always been a theme for us. This year we're focusing more specifically on making some of our core product experiences available to you as a developer. And this morning, we announced the OpenStream API. This is all about making one of our core product experiences open to you to innovate in ways that were never possible before. So we're incredibly excited about this. The stream has different pieces. So just like you're used to consuming the stream on Facebook, we've created one view of it. We've made it so that you can do different things like filtering the stream and understanding what your friends are doing in the ways that you want to on our Facebook.com website. With the OpenStream API, you'll now be able to do this on some of your favorite websites, such as Plaxo. You'll also be able to do it through desktop software, such as Seismic. And not only will you be able to consume the stream, but you'll actually be able to interact with it by publishing back into it the exact same way you're used to on Facebook. So on top of your wall or on top of the stream on the homepage today, we ask you a question, what's on your mind? And you're able to publish directly into the stream so that everyone in the graph around you can see what you're publishing. You'll be able to now do that from any website and any piece of client software that's using the OpenStream API. And not only will you be able to publish directly into the stream, but you'll actually be able to comment and like and do all the things that you're used to on the Facebook site on any of these pieces of software. And not only that, but you'll also be able to mix and match and create different views for the stream that you're not used to seeing on Facebook. And we're incredibly excited just to see what people come up with in terms of different views for the stream, different mixing and matchings of how this stuff works. And today, we've also are releasing a few new permissions. So one thing that we've learned over time is if you give people control, they share more information. And so today we're releasing 2 new permissions which help users understand exactly what they're sharing with you. So when you ask for access to the home and profile stream, the user can quickly understand that this is what I'm giving access to, here's a visual representation of it, in addition to asking for permission to publish back into the stream the same exact kind of dialogue. We've worked hand in hand with the community over the last few months to do a lot of user experience work on what dialogues like this should look like. So we're actually really excited to be rolling out more as a result of a bunch of that work. In addition to giving users control and choice, we want to give developers choice as well. And so we've built the OpenStream API on top of a few different things. 1, the emerging activity stream standard. 2, our standard REST API, which has been available for many years, but we've now added new calls to it. And we've added some SQL tables to make it quick and efficient for you to access the data. So to kick it off, I'm going to invite Chris Messina up to talk about what we're doing with activity streams and the work that we've been doing together to push this standard forward before we do some talking about the exact partners that have implemented on top of it. So Chris?
Thanks, Dave. I definitely appreciate the opportunity to come here to talk to you about some of the work that a number of us have been doing over the last year or so. The activity streams format work actually sort of started about a year ago, recognizing that people are doing a lot more on the web than just publishing blog posts. And a lot of the formats and technologies that we have historically for representing this kind of data is actually designed just to represent what people are writing about. And as demonstrated by this sort of snapshot of things that people are doing on the web, those formats are incomplete. They don't actually give us the richness to represent the true diversity of what people are doing on the web. Furthermore, this in particular is sort of a representation of one website is doing to try to bring activities across the web into a standard format. The problem is that they have to implement support for every new service that comes out. And there was an opportunity here essentially to create a standard for expressing these types of activities that anybody could implement, creating an ecosystem across the entire web that would allow people not only to compete with one another, but actually to express these things in a way that transcended all boundaries and borders. So this is right now an emerging standard. It's very early actually, and what I'm most excited about seeing Facebook getting involved now is that there's a great opportunity to actually work with a bunch of different providers to come up with the best way of expressing this information. I'm currently one of the community shepherds here. Martin Atkins and Monica Keller are also working on this stuff. And I think it's great to see Facebook joining this sort of burgeoning work now, before we're actually final, by sort of saying, we think this is a good idea and we want to do this in a way that actually works with the community, as opposed to creating our own mechanisms. So the curious thing to me about this, since now Facebook is sort of, the largest sort of public implementation of, or one of the largest public implementations of activity streams, is earlier this year, Dave told me, in 2009, Facebook is getting serious, and they're getting serious about openness. Now, openness is sort of a slippery word, so I was like, well, what does that actually mean? What do you mean when you tell me this, Dave? Because you're a good friend, and I want to know the truth. So there's been a number of things that Facebook has done so far this year, from voting on the terms of service publicly with their members, to earlier this year joining the OpenID Foundation. And I think that those things, coupled with stuff like the activity streams work, suggests that Facebook actually is very interested in supporting the community, getting involved with open standards and open protocols, and actually working with us to come up with the best solutions as possible. And this bodes really well, I think, for the future and the health of the social web. So to that end, I'm actually very excited to bring up John and Joseph from Plaxo to demonstrate what this actually means when you move beyond the borders of Facebook.
Thanks, Chris. All right. First, we've been looking forward to this day for a really long time. This is really historic, and I thought it made sense to capture it in a status update. Now, no longer just a t-shirt. Plaxo and Facebook are now in an open relationship. And certainly that deserves a toast. I know I need a drink. Joseph and I are...
That's a toast.
Yeah, there you go. We've been pretty passionate about this stuff, and we think there's something big going on. We believe that there's a really big wave coming as the web goes social and the social web goes open. But for that to happen, we really need to deal with the pain that people are experiencing when they're using multiple social websites. In fact, what we need is true interoperability, data portability, while keeping the users in control. And what you're about to see is exactly that. Through an integration of Facebook Connect, that actually just went live on the Plaxo.com website a few minutes ago. It's currently a bit buried under the settings Facebook Connect. You can check it out though. Later tonight we'll promote it quite prominently. And this is an integration of Facebook Connect that is really unprecedented in the level of interoperability that it demonstrates between two social networks. And it's a bit different than some of the Facebook Connect integrations you've seen before. We didn't choose to focus on the common sign up, sign in use case. We'll actually do that in a second release. We decided to be 100% focused in this first release on making something that would rock for the millions of people that use Plaxo and Facebook today. In fact, we did a survey recently of our most active users, trying to find out how many of them are also using Facebook. The answer was 60%. And it was clear from this survey that they wanted us to make these two great products work well together. So, what did we do for this large and growing core? First, we declared an end to reefer madness. No, refriend madness. Starting today, we will honor Facebook friend relationships on Plaxo for anyone who wants us to, leveraging the power of Facebook Connect. And second, we're enabling two-way flows of content between these two services, leveraging the new OpenStream API. And rather than talk about it some more, I think I'll turn it over to my partner, Joseph.
All right. Thank you, John. Let me just call up my trusty web browser and log into my trusty Plaxo. And for those of you who haven't seen Plaxo before, we're a social utility that's all about interoperability and helping you stay connected with the people you know and care about across all the tools that you and they use. And we're really excited that that list now includes Facebook. So if you haven't seen Plaxo, here's my stream of what my friends, family, and coworkers are doing across the web. And as before, you can pull in content from lots of sites like YouTube and Flickr and Goodreads and a whole bunch of others. But what's really cool now is that Facebook is now a first-class citizen among them. And so what I can see here is that my friend John McCrae recently connected his Facebook and Plaxo accounts together. And not only that, he got connected with a whole bunch of his Facebook friends who also use Plaxo. And that sounds like something I'd like to do, so I'm going to give it a shot here. So we're going to see the traditional Facebook Connect login dialog. Apologies for not having logged in previously, but that's Agile, baby. All right, the old one-handed type. Okay, so that's the one you've seen. Now this is one you haven't seen that's hosted on Plaxo. And this is where we let you dial in exactly how you want to connect your Facebook and Plaxo accounts. Because what we wanted to show with this integration was an unprecedented level of interoperability and at the same time an unprecedented level of user control. So you can control exactly how you want to link your accounts up. So this first checkbox says, do you want to honor your Facebook friendships as friendships over on Plaxo? And then the next two are about sharing activity between the sites. And to make sure that the user really knows what's going on, we're using these new extended permission dialogues that you heard about. So you can see exactly what you're doing and that that's really what you want to do. And so once you do that, that's all you have to do, and your accounts are now linked. And so I'll be taken back to my stream, and I'll start to see the magic of having these two sites linked together. Assuming I get, there we go. Okay, so my Facebook account is now connected. And you can see here's a bunch of people that I'm connected to. These are all my friends on Facebook, and they also use Plaxo, and they connected their accounts. And so now we're all friended. I don't have to refriend them all one by one, which is great. Even better, I start to see all this great Facebook content in my stream. I've been missing this if I've been on Plaxo, because all my Facebook friends didn't share the content before. But now with the Streams API, you can see here's a link, or here's an event that the person's planning to attend. And I should say, this is real data portability, so all the events that I'm attending also show up in my Plaxo calendar. So it's really useful. So once I RSVP, I can go look and see where I need to be. And here's a link that somebody shared on Facebook, and it comes across, you can see full fidelity. People sharing notes, videos, I can go over and watch the video right on Facebook. There's a very tight level of integration. And so forth. So this is really cool because there's going to be so many people now who get more out of this and go to Facebook more, come to Plaxo more. And of course, we need this to be a two-way street. So if I go and share something in Plaxo, so for example, any links or messages, or one of my favorites is to do a review. So say I want to share a review with my friends of a new Shun knife I got, which is, if you haven't tried it, these are like by far the best knives. For cooking, not, And I'll give that 5 stars. Yeah, so okay, so we've always had this. Let's see, what's this? Give it another. Knives. Get this knife. And what's cool is, I now have this new option, also share this on Facebook. So if this is something I want to make sure my friends see in both places, I can share that, and I'll get the nice permission thing. Yay. And we publish this over. And now this is going to go over to Facebook as well. So if I pull up Facebook, you will see a really nice knife. And you can see, again, full resolution. You've got the review shared from Plaxo. It's got all the information I needed. So again, really rich. This is really meant to be, if you're living in either place, you choose what you want to share, you choose who you want to share it with, and the tools just work together. This is exactly what we've always wanted, and the APIs are now powerful enough to make it happen. And just to wrap up, I'd say, the status came in. I want to set my status, and I want to make that shirt as well. So here we go. Loving Facebook Connect. DB Connect is good too, but it's not as good as Facebook Connect. So I'm going to check that out. And so again, user control. First time you set your status on Plaxo after you hook it up, we again give you the choice. And it should be very clear to users. Do you also want your status to go over to Facebook? And I'll say, yeah, I'd sync that. Again, permission. You can see the user's in control every step of the way. And once you set up the way you want it, it just works. And now over on Facebook, my status, loving Facebook Connect. So there you go. And this is live right now, so go ahead and have at it. And on a personal note, let me just end by saying, those of you who know me know how passionate I am about opening up the social web and making all these tools work together and getting it to a point where real mainstream users would be like, yeah, I just like how it works, and I don't feel scared. In fact, I feel empowered. And this is what I've been talking about for these last several years. And this is a big day. I think this sets the blueprint for the industry of what real interoperability from two committed partners who get the vision. And not only am I thrilled to be able to share it, I'm extra thrilled that we were able to build this hand in hand with my good friends at Facebook who share the passion and been working day and night to make this happen. And for anybody who's left being a doubter about where the social web is going, just keep watching, because it's just going to get better and better, and 2009 is going to be a great year for an open and interoperable social web. So thanks a lot.
Woo! Thanks, Trevor. Let's get the presentation back up here. So, again, up next, talking more about developer choice, is a demonstration of what you can do with our API and specifically FQL. So I'm going to invite up Justin Bishop from our platform engineering team, and he's going to talk about an application he built in Adobe Air.
All right, good afternoon. Okay, so I'm going to be showing a simple client that runs on the desktop and demonstrates how you can interact with our new Stream API. So, Facebook for Adobe Air, which is what its official title will be, allows you to publish status messages to the stream. It also allows you to view stream stories of all of your friends. It may be worth noting that you can see the stream stories that your friends have generated on Facebook as well as on Plaxo or any other third-party site. It allows you to view your friends' comments as well as make comments and like things and unlike things. So I'm just going to actually show the app running here. Okay, so here's Facebook for Adobe Air, and this is the stream, very similar to how I would see it now on my website. These are all my friends' latest stream updates. So all of my, well, these are not my friends, but anyway. So all of my requests here are being done with FQL. So this data could be gotten with our new stream.get API call, but there's more flexibility in this app with FQL. It allows us to essentially batch queries together to reduce the number of round trips. So what we see here is being gotten from the stream table. I could example view some of the comments and likes here on Josh's story. So these comments were fetched from the comment table, and the likes actually come with the stream data. But then finally I hit what the third table we're introducing called the profile table, which allows me to get all of these pictures and images. So for example, I could like Josh's story here, and now I officially like him watching Dave Marin, and I could say, oh, I'm Mike. Okay, I could say hi as Mike Burnell. So there you go. So this is just a simple way to interact with the stream without needing to ever actually go to the website. And it may be worth noting that this updates live, so you could just leave this running, and as new comments or things enter your stream, they would just show up automatically. So that's it. Also, this is available for now on the app directory. You can just search for Facebook for Adobe Air, and this is also completely open source. So you can view the code to figure out how to integrate into your own site on our public Subversion repository.
Thank you, sir. Thanks, Justin. So building the first version of Facebook Desktop on Adobe Air is really an extension of a previous partnership that we did with Adobe to get
integration as deep as possible between the Adobe platform and the Facebook platform. So with that, I'd like to introduce one of our colleagues from Adobe, Adrian Ludwig, who's going to talk about the partnership between Facebook and Adobe.
Okay. So this will be fairly quick. Many of you probably know that about 4 weeks ago we announced the partnership with Facebook, providing deep integration with the Facebook platform and the Adobe Flash platform. Since then, we've had a few thousand people download the client library, and later today we're going to be having support for this new API. So I think this is a great example of the continuing need to have advancement both in what's possible with social and what's possible with Flash. Really excited to see Seismic back there. They're going to be talking a little bit later about how they're also building using this API in Adobe Air, which I think speaks to the long history of people using the Flash platform to deliver applications on Facebook and connect to Facebook. We're going to see incredible examples of that over the next year. So I'm just thankful that I could be here and talk a little bit about that. It's going to be great to see all these. And the thing that always sticks in my mind as I'm watching these is these are real, right? This wasn't Adobe building an application. This was Facebook saying this is the best technology for us to build to solve this problem. And we said, great, and we'd love to be there to celebrate it with you. And the same with Seismic, right? They're here to show you what they've been building and how great it is and how much they love the technology that underlies it, which is exactly why we were so excited to partner with Facebook and exactly why we think our developers love the Flash platform. Awesome.
Thanks, Adrian. So with that, up next, we have Loic Lamour from Seismic to demonstrate another Adobe Air application.
So my name is Loic Lamour, and I created a company called Seismic, and this is Marco Kaiser who created Twill. Twill is a very popular Twitter application that has been downloaded by 1.2 million times, and we think used by about 400,000 people. And we're very, very happy that we collaborated with our friends at Facebook today to show you how we integrate now Facebook and Twitter into one single application, which is Seismic Desktop. Seismic Desktop we have introduced only 2-3 weeks ago. It's already used by about 50,000 people, even though it's in private alpha, and you really have to try really hard to get it, but you can get it at desktop.seismic.com. Really quick before you need to register. It's not easy, frankly. You need to give us your email address so that we can talk to you. We got thousands of feedback and suggestions. That's why we want to build it, how we want to build it. So here I just give you some of the major functionalities. The main one is it's multiple accounts. So as you can see here, I have 2 Twitter accounts. One is Loic, the other one is Seismic. It supports multi-column, so I can detach any column, I can move them around. I have put a search on the right column, which is Facebook. You can see we added just one right now. So this is Facebook search of the term Facebook, I'm sorry. Then my replies, and I can add as many as I like. It also supports user lists, which will be very, very interesting for Facebook, where you can sort your friends, and using a very simple button, you can sort your friends into, for example, my A list or the best entrepreneurs of Europe or San Francisco, and so on and so forth. And here I added one for Facebook friends, so I can add people I want to follow from Facebook. So enough about the basic functionalities. Now we're going to add a Facebook account. So 2 Twitter accounts plus 1 Facebook account. So as you can see, we have added the account. Don't go too fast. Yeah, I have to. So can you put Loic Direct at Gmail? I'm going to use, we tried to do it scorable proof, which is very tough. So, so I'm going to try it with my 5,000 friends Facebook account, and it should handle it correctly. So Robert, tell us what you think about it when you have tried. So here we go. So now it's linked to this Facebook account, and you can see it shows up in the list. Now we have in the home, which is the home column, you can see that you have both Facebook and the 2 other Twitter accounts in one single stream, in the very same column.
I think that'd be a little fast for me.
So this is coming from Twitter. You can see on my Loic account. This one is coming from Twitter too, and this one is coming from Facebook. All in one stream, all integrated. And so what we like about this is you can keep it small and get into only one column mode. In very, very shortly, we'll have actually a button that will allow you to go into full screen, what I like to say is like it's like the Bloomberg of social software. You have a full experience, or just like a Skype. This is very ambitious, but you know, or just like a Skype IM mode here. Now let's have a look at the Facebook view. So we can click on the Facebook account only. You can detach this clicking on the top right button. And now I have my Facebook only column here. And I can move it around. So maybe you can show we move the columns around. And you and you get the full, here we go. So we switch them and you get the full Facebook feed in this column. Maybe you want to navigate, Marco, in the column itself. You see the whole content, you have the links, you have video, you have pictures, and obviously like and comments coming next. So that's basically it for the integration. We're working really hard on having it very stable in terms of memory use and both the stability of the app itself. Now I can switch to share the different accounts. As you can see at the top, now I'm sharing as Facebook, and I can change the different accounts how I am sharing. And I can also share different items, so I can share a URL, or can you show the image? Here, if you do webcam, yeah, that's gonna work. This is also going to obviously post pictures and links and videos. We have a good video server, so we'll be able to post videos to Facebook pretty easy. And yeah, that's about it for now. And this is going to be, so this is working as you can see, but we need like a day or two to test it. So we'll make it available as soon as possible. And we're very, very excited to bring this build your community experience to both Facebook users and our social software users. The vision is very simple, is to help you share everywhere and get all the replies from the different places in an integrated experience. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Lloyd. We appreciate it. So next up, we'd like to introduce our friends from Microsoft who have a similar demo that they're going to test out for us.
Similar.
Maybe entirely different.
Something entirely different.
Yes, sir.
Oh, I'm running a PC. I'm a PC. Oh, come on. Give the Microsoft guy some credit. I have an iPhone. Yeah, PC over there in the corner. Nobody else. Goebel's using a Mac, but you use a Mac, right? He's rejected his roots.
All right, so
I have Windows 7 running on this machine, all right? So thank God. What happened here? Where's Arlene's band? I lost my stuff.
Wouldn't have happened on the Mac.
That's right, it's called projection issues. No, Windows 7 works great. Hi, how you doing? Okay, thank you.
Brian Goldfarb.
Round of applause for the I'm a PC. I have two machines. All right, hey, I'm Brian Goldfarb. I run the developer platform business at Microsoft. And we're here to show you how Microsoft and Facebook are working together to enable developers on the Microsoft platform using .NET and Silverlight to build great Windows and web applications that take advantage of the OpenStream API and all the other great API technology that Facebook provides. Our goal here is really to go and make it easy for anyone to build these types of Facebook apps, to help ignite the ecosystem, whether it's stuff you saw on air or otherwise, to make it simple for anyone to approach this problem and deliver some pretty compelling stuff. So on Thursday, Josh gave us some time to come and talk to you today. So we had about 72 hours notice. We put 2 teams of 3 people each on the problem starting on Thursday. Want to show you what they developed. Over the course of the next couple of weeks, we're going to release some guidance, SDKs, and all the source code under open source licenses for people to consume. So the first thing here is a Silverlight application in the browser, a web application. It's consuming, so I'm going to pull up the wall here. Let this refresh. This is consuming the Stream API. We're going to pull down our feed in real time. We can go ahead and look through this and get all the nice formatting information that I want using the great API you talked about. We can extend this over time to have the ability to like, to update, to add, and to comment. Pretty basic stuff. But we went and took kind of an angle on the photo viewing experience here. How do you get a really great photo viewing experience in the browser on top of Facebook. And so, what if I find a friend like Dan Fernandez? Am I streaming? I guess I'm streaming now. Hi guys. I'm gonna go ahead and click on this picture. We're gonna go live up to the feed, grab his Facebooks, and display this information up using a technology called Deep Zoom. Just be very quickly sort of zoom in, super high quality, high resolution photography. I can zoom out. One of the nice things here though, is we can kind of play with some layouts and get some smooth interactivity. It's kind of purely the star pattern. But what's more interesting is kind of to go in a line and give me a nice fast viewing experience, faster than what you can get with just traditional agent. Yeah, these are like Vegas drunk pictures, don't mind me. Unfiltered, uncensored. We just had Nick's conference in Vegas. God knows what happened. I don't take any responsibility for what you're about to see here. Another great thing with this feature, I can go ahead and pull up the tags associated with these images that I got off the stream and do some drill down filtering on all the images. So let's go ahead and find Dan's photos, but filter them for photos of me that are tagged by me because I'm kind of into looking at pictures of myself. And there we go. Now we've filtered these down. We can change the layout back to something more consumable. Zoom in here and pull that data up in real time. Also, we can come back to the people. Oops. Get rid of that little UI glitch. Go ahead and pull up. Here's a list of all my profile pictures of my friends, and we can go ahead and drill into the same way. If we wanted to go and see what, I don't know, what Cindy Lee's pictures were looking like here. She'll probably kill me for doing this, but that's my problem, not yours. So anyways, that's a quick little Facebook application built in Silverlight, taking advantage of our SDK, leveraging the Streams API, and a bunch of other things like that. Now, that's for the web. Now I want to show you what we can do on Windows. And, oh, thank you. Look at that. That's service with a smile. And we're going to switch over to a different machine. The theory here, I don't think I'm trying to cheat or anything, was we were going to show multi-touch. And this was a multi-touch enabled machine. And we're happy to do that for you one-on-one later. It's kind of weird to watch me touching the screen and see things moving, so we're just not going to. So this here is a Windows application running on top of Windows 7, and a couple of interesting things to talk about here. At the top, you're actually looking at, that's not the right mouse, huh? Let me get. Have you guys seen these beautiful new negative space mouse, highly designed? They work on this laptop. This is actually the Streams API, pulling in our feed. So this is the pictures associated with the individuals. As I cursor over here, we can see, Nathan Dunlap is going for a drive with the twins. That sounds boring. But Sarapa's thinking about how great Windows 7 is. That's obviously something I care about. So we're pulling all that data, visualizing it in a really interesting way, and we can kind of scroll through here. But sometimes I don't really want to look at it in this visual mode. Wouldn't it be nice if I could just dock this to the left and use adaptive UI to automatically alter it to more of a stream feed? And so now we're looking at the exact same information, but in a more of a vertical way. We could resize that to make it smaller. See something interesting, tear it out, bring it full screen. Another kind of fun thing here is the performance. We're using a synchronization API on top of Windows to do all the offline caching and access. So take this from the plane, look at pictures. Take it offline, look at the information, all cached. And what that gives you is some unparalleled performance. So here is the Streams API overlaying status message on top of images, but we can, see that blur effect at the bottom and you're moving real fast? I mean, I don't know, if you guys click next on pictures and you get the little spinning, this is the power of what using software on top of open APIs does. You can build amazing, rich experiences to really activate the community. So we're pretty excited about what this has to do. One of the things that's always kind of fun is you want to step back and wouldn't it be nice to just do a slideshow of those pictures with gratuitous intermediary effects between those images. Because some dev built these and I have to show them. But they're cool. No, you want to do it. These are all customizable, build them yourself. We can also, hey, that's me in a suit. God, that must have been a wedding. What else can we do? Am I missing anything, Kevin? Search. Oh, yes. Last but not least, I'm supposed to search for Chris. We have all the data, all the metadata, and we didn't apply this to the Scoville test. We applied it to the Goldfarb test, which is 1,200 friends. So we're 1/5 of the way there, Rob. We'll get the taken care of. So for Chris, we're taking all the metadata, showing all the information that's getting pulled out, and now I can literally drill in here and click on that and get snapped right to Grandpa Olaf's Easter pictures. God, that's great. One of the things I love to do is to just go ahead and search for this information. So we think with our technology, with Windows, Microsoft, Silverlight, the APIs and guidance we're going to be building, and Josh is going to be helping us with, we're going to make it very, very easy to build these apps. Now remember, these things came together literally in 72 hours. So don't think this is rocket science. Anyone in the room, except for maybe me, you could probably build these. All right, thanks a lot. Hey, hello, come on. That was a given, wasn't it? Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, Brian.
Keep that one for
The PC.
I love PC. Unintended joke.
All right, so thanks to our partners. We hope that some of these examples help you imagine what, some of the amazing integrations that you can do with the new OpenStreams API. We really think that the desktop clients, the mobile space, all these different ways that you can mix and match the stream are going to be really amazing all over the place. So we're really excited to see what you guys come up with. And one more piece of openness for us this year is OpenID. And so we thought we would spend a little bit of time, since we have everyone here, talking about OpenID and what we're doing in that space as well. So I'd like to introduce Luke Shepard from the Facebook platform team as well, and he's going to talk about our work with OpenID.
Hi everyone. Yeah, we're going to talk today. The activity streams is obviously pretty impressive. I'm impressed with the way the team is built. But I wanted to talk a little bit about what Facebook's been doing with OpenID. Let me just. So what are we doing with OpenID? So Facebook is. So for those who don't know, I think pretty much everybody does, but OpenID is an open specification for identity on the internet. Basically, it allows users to take an account or an identity and an account they already have and use it on a new site that they've never used before, or maybe one that they have. Facebook Connect is similar. We allow you to use your Facebook login to go to a new site and for example, City Search or CNN or any of our partners with Facebook Connect and use your Facebook context on this new site. So we've been thinking a lot and evaluating the protocol and looking into what we can do to use OpenID with Facebook. So in February, we joined the OpenID Foundation, and we've been looking into the user experience. So looking at the relying parties, federated login on the internet is really hard. It's something that has not been solved before, and can be confusing, and something that basically there's been a lot of iteration and experimentation on. What is the right user experience? How do you tell users what's going on when they log into a new site using an account they've already had? And so we've had a lot of experience with this with Facebook Connect, and we've been trying to help work with the open community to figure out what's the right user experience for OpenID. So in February, we hosted, right in this room, we hosted a user experience summit with a bunch of designers and engineers from many of the participants in the community. And we talked about a bunch of different ways that you could potentially use OpenID on your site. One of the major outcomes of that was that we need some more relying parties. We need some people to get out there and start experimenting. There's a bunch of good ideas. A lot of people have ideas about how we can accept third-party logins. And there are some pretty major sites out there. Plaxo, for example, accepts third-party logins via OpenID. But we just wanted to help contribute to the community by helping experiment with some of the ways that we can play with user experience. So we sort of step back, and Facebook has always relied on external identity. It's not something that we've never tried to just sort of ask the user for everything up front. We've always linked to your real-world accounts. So back in the very beginning when the site started, people linked to their colleges and then to their businesses with email addresses. We used what it means were available to us at the time. And so I see OpenID as just an extension of that. It's a way to link to an identity that you have in another service and establish yourself with identity on the internet. So you might say, for example, this is me, this is my real world identity, and I'm linked to my college and the business I work for, and I also want to talk about the identity that I use when I talk to my friends on chat, or the email addresses that I use around the internet, or any of the thousands of OpenID providers and various identity providers around on the web. So what we're basically trying to do is allow you to link your accounts. So here's one way that this could work. You go into your settings page, you choose an account to link, and then you could link your Facebook account with accounts at Google or Yahoo or any of or My OpenID or any of the OpenID providers around the internet. And when that happens, say you close your browser, you leave this computer, you come back, And we're basically, so there's a lot of questions about how do you offer the user this user experience. And what we looked at was how could we become a relying party, and what's the minimum set of functionality we could launch that would provide some value to our users so that users could get some convenience, get some benefit from it. And so what happens here is you come back to Facebook, and we've stored a cookie that says who your provider is. And in the background, we'll just check to see if you're logged into the provider. And if you are, we'll figure that out and then log you in. So this is something that we're thinking of as basically lets you link your account and get automatically logged in. This is something that enables existing users. So if you ever come in and you use, say, an email provider, and then you go to Facebook every day, you open this is what I do. I go to my email and I go to Facebook, and this lets you, it just makes it easier for users. Now they can just go to one and then they automatically logged into the other. So we've also, this is something that provides for existing users. We've also given a lot of thought to how this could help new users. So you come to a new site, you've never used Facebook before. So we've been working within the platform, and we've been working with some other engineers like Hisham Harik from the growth team, and we've been thinking about how we could use new users, enhance their experience. So let me just take a look. I don't know how many of you have recently signed up for Facebook. Hopefully you've had accounts for a while, but if you did just recently sign up, you went through something like this. You entered a bunch of information, and then we had to, and this is common for lots of sites on the internet, then you had to go and send you an email. You had to click on the link in the email. That's annoying. Then you had to come back, and you had to, if you come to Facebook, it's a social site. We need to know who your friends are. So we ask you for your email name and password again so we can get that information. And then we go and find out who other your friends on the site. So this is kind of a painful process for a lot of sites when they're onboarding. And this is one of the problems that we're trying to solve with OpenID and with Facebook Connect. So one of the potential ways we could solve this is you could come to Facebook, enter your information, and we could just, if you're using, for example, a Gmail account, we could just pop up a window that lets you just tell us, hey, Gmail, tell Facebook who I am, and tell them my email address, and tell them all this stuff. And we can just plop you right in and let you start connecting with friends right away. So this is some of the stuff that we're working on here at Facebook to integrate with OpenID as a relying party. So I'd like to hand it over to David Recordin from the OpenID Foundation. That's not live right now.
Cool. Hey, thanks, Luke. So, I don't know, I made some slides, but at the same time I've been sitting back there sort of thinking about how all these different things come together. And I think it's been really interesting. When Brad Fitzpatrick and a small community of people and I went and created OpenID in 2005, sort of late that year, I don't think any of us really thought that we were going to go and be creating a technology that really is and can be that underpinning of identity online. Since that time, there's probably somewhere over 1 billion OpenIDs across the web right now. And so that was sort of really interesting last year, where you were going and seeing all these large companies go and add support for all of their accounts to be OpenIDs so that they could be OpenID providers. It was really great, sort of another one of these moments, much like this one, was going and getting a call from the Microsoft team saying, hey, we want to go and have Bill Gates announce support for OpenID from Microsoft. And I think this announcement by Facebook has sort of really done that same sort of thing. It's gone, and as you've seen OpenID evolve from a grassroots community supported throughout the open source, throughout smaller sites, being able to go and now have the question not be, how do we go and teach people that they have an OpenID, but make it easy for people to use their OpenID wherever they go. And so I think Facebook has really gone and taken another step there, where I think they really are that largest technology company to go and allow, well, in the future, since it's a demo right now, but to allow people to sign in to their core service, not to a service that they run sort of on the side, but to the main facebook.com, using an account from another company. And so that's really something which I think is great. It's great to see Facebook go and join the OpenID community, really participating there, hosted a user experience summit. I mean, how many people here have used OpenID and thought that experience that you're used to sucks? I know I certainly have. Did that experience suck of what you've seen so far? No, I don't think it did. And so that's really something where I think that's something where Facebook's doing a great job of going and contributing and participating in the OpenID community, really going and taking a lot of the things that they've learned of going and launching Facebook Platform and Facebook Connect to help the OpenID user experience, much as they're doing along with the Activity Streams project as well. So thank you.
Thanks, David. So, let's see. I think that's all we have. So, again, we're here to socialize. We're here to connect with each other. At Facebook, our mission is to give you the power to share and to make the world more open and connected. And on Facebook platform, we're trying to make the web a more open place and to make it more social and to give you guys the power to do amazing things. And so we hope that the Open Streams API is the next evolution in you being able to do that. And we're excited to be here and to hang out with you guys and answer your questions and whatnot. Real quick, I'd just like the whole Facebook platform team to stand up, like everybody who's worked on all this stuff. Come on, stand up, everyone. So the point being, the Facebook platform team is a huge team. It takes an incredible amount of people and man hours to make this stuff happen, and so we're excited to be here with you guys and to mingle and to enjoy some wine. So that's all we've got for you today, and until next time, we'll see you then.